All right. Hey, guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Hawkes, and this is your Best Life Defined. Hope you're doing well this morning. I've been starting every podcast with that question because if you're not, then the question is why not? Why wouldn't you be waking up with at least one thing in your life that you can be thankful for, you can be energized about, something that'll put fuel in your tank? If you're not, then there's probably a pretty good chance that someone else is telling you what to do, that the right person isn't telling you what you need to know to make the choices you need to make. It's everywhere. Don't worry about it. It's not just you. Everyone in the entire world, it seems, has been following the same lead, the same bullcrap story about what our lives should look like. And we buy off of it to the point that we actually refuse to make any changes. We refuse to, no, I'm happy. I'm happy. In fact, I've had conversations with really happy people who've actually threatened, just get off my, I'm not going to tell you again. They get angry when I ask them about their happiness, about their life. It's not your fault. I mean, it's not all completely your fault. Think about it. Ever since you were born, ever since you were able to first perceive anything around you, what was the message you were given? Well, it included a house, the car, the kids, this whole package deal. That's why everybody running around like chickens with their heads cut off, paying crazy prices for homes right now. I got caught in that boat, that scarcity boat, just for a minute. We started looking at houses and we started thinking, oh my God, I got to get a house. Oh my God. You realize that toilet paper a few months ago, toilet paper was in the same boat? It fixed itself. I'm waiting. But the reason that issue happens is because of scarcity. It's because they're creating this inflated market. They're creating an idea that there's scarcity. And guess what? When it all comes crumbling down after COVID-19, and when this economic issues that we've been facing now for nearly 7 months catches up with us, there are going to be plenty of houses. There'll be plenty of residential and commercial properties for us to grab a hold of. But you're not going to be able to take advantage of it if you've spent $100,000 more than a property's worth simply because of your acting out of scarcity. This is where we got to slow down. This is why I keep bringing it back to you. See, I'm able to keep focus on my life and on the choices and the decisions we make because I spend a lot of time asking myself questions about my choices and about the direction we're headed, so I don't mislead you. See, you're helping me here by you showing up every day. And granted, I really appreciate it that you show up. But if you were to happen to not show up, guess what? You'll come back in 3 weeks. I'll still be here because this is working for me. This is the energy, the juice I need, the fuel to put in my tank I need to get me to move beyond where I am right now. The book is almost done. We're getting there. Last chapter, working on it every day. I've committed to that. Made some other big changes in my life. I started working out again consistently. It feels good. It's a moment of excitement for me. And the reason I'm able to accomplish all that is because when you look at what I'm doing, I'm the one that is directing my actions. It's not spurred or spawned by some idea that I've been given about how to fit in or to be accepted. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm not really the average guy. I'm not really the average grandpa. I don't actually live the average life. I wake up every day and I do shit other people don't do. And I pursue other ideas and other things that most people never have access to. And what's it going to do for me? It's going to give me the life no one else is living. It's going to give me a life that very few people will ever live. It's simply because if you do it different, you get different results. Now, I'm not blaming you, just so you know. Before we get into how you can fix this, how you can start taking steps to change this, let me just reassure you that I'm not making judgments here. I understand it. I used to be where you are. I used to wake up every day, and some days I'd wake up and I wish the day was already over. The point I'm making is if you're waking up every day or even once a year wishing the day was over, I wouldn't do any of the shit that you're doing that day. That doesn't make a hill of beans sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And you're like, the response is like, well, yeah, but I have to because I have to pay for the house and I have to do this and I have to do that. Well, no, not necessarily. You have to do, what you have to do is you have to pay taxes and you have to die. Everything else is up for discussion. The question is, do you have the courage So stop doing it, stop making it worse, and start asking yourself some serious questions about how you truly feel about what you're doing. See, it's within that honesty that you become the driver of your ship, the captain of your ship. You're driving the car once all of a sudden every choice you make is not based on what you think or what you've been told, but what you know about yourself. There's a reason we are inundated with ads at every turn. There are a reason there are all kinds of amazing things to see. There are a reason that people love social media. It's a distraction. It's not really much different than you drinking down a 12-pack of beer every evening. It's a way to escape the life you're living for just a moment, just a way to forget about all the things you have to do. But here's the point. If you're doing a bunch of great stuff, the last thing you're doing is trying to avoid it, right? You wake up every day and you're excited about fishing. You don't try and avoid fishing. You don't lay in bed at night before you go to sleep and tell your partner, I really ain't looking forward to this fishing trip. Bullshit. I wish today were over. Going deep sea fishing, I wish today were over. Really? But that's the kind of bullshit we tell ourselves. That's the kind of stuff we tell ourselves to justify why we're living the life we're living. And bringing that point up before you get into how you're going to change it, why do you live the life you live? This is the most difficult conversation I have ever had, because there just seems to be this resistance to the idea that your life isn't perfect because it looks like everyone else's. Well, my life has to be perfect. I have the house. They have the house. They're happy. I'm happy. No. You're acting happy. You're pretending to be happy. Or you're happy because you don't have any option to change it. Think about it. How much money do you actually have in the bank? If an opportunity, let's say the opportunity to change jobs or to move to a different city came along, would you have the money to make that jump? If for some reason, let's just say, God forbid, something happened in your life and all of a sudden you realized that you only had a certain amount of time to live, would you have the ability to transform your life into a life that gives you the access to the things you love before you die? That's crazy. I'm telling you, I'm doing a really good job now, but if I knew for a fact that I only had 6 months to live, I'd be doing a hell of a job. Why? Well, because what other choice do you have? Get the most out of it. Get as much living as you can done before you die. And how does that happen? You have to stop following the herd. You have to start looking at yourself and asking yourself questions, and you have to start driving your car. I think it's funny. With all the information there is in the world, and I got to tell you, there's a real attraction to information like this, where people talk about their lives and talk about how they're able to be successful. The bottom line is, people who are immensely successful are successful because they love what they do, the things they do every day, and the effort they put in is directed in directions that are in line with who they are and what they truly love, or what truly inspires them. It's not about being happy. There are days when I wake up and I'm not happy about doing a podcast. I'm not happy about setting the lights up, doing the video, doing the editing. But what I'm excited about, what I'm truly excited about, is the idea that there's going to be one person who says, oh, I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. He's saying, build my life around who I am. The example is this house I live in. It's a 41-foot fifth wheel. It's a trailer house. I don't mind saying that. I'm not ashamed to say that. I'm not ashamed to let people know I live in a trailer house. You see my set? My set is the dining room table, okay? You know why? Because for me, this house represents everything I am and everything I love right now. It gives me the most possible access to the kind of life I want to live. I want to go kayaking today. So if you're a person and you want to go kayaking, does it seem that it would be a good idea to park your house right next to water? I mean, it seems like a reasonable thing, right? Okay. I'm looking out my window. I can see the Grand River. It's less than 50 feet away from my RV. My kayaks are right under the RV there. I just drag them out, throw my life vest on, and go. The reason I'm sitting in that position isn't because I followed what the world told me I should do, because I did that. There wasn't no kayaking in my life when I had the big house, the car, all that crap. I didn't have time for kayaking. I was busy working, busy paying all that debt off, which never seemed to get paid off. Chasing my butt with all those credit cards and all that shit I go through every day, right? Before you'll ever be able to live or to truly live your best life, you have to define that. You have to define what it looks like. And that's not going to come from this image that's been painted. That's going to come from you. That's going to happen when you stop looking outside and everyone else and you start looking at yourself. One of the most amazing things I've I've often said that sometimes we get involved in activities and we get these habits and they become so ingrained in what we do every day that we can't actually imagine the benefits of not doing it. I talk about social media and how social media doesn't work for me. I mean, I'll throw something up every way, once in a while on Facebook, but the reality is it just doesn't work. It's not where I need to be. But I've been involved in it so long that the idea of stepping away it's like, oh my God, I won't know anything. But the exact opposite is what happened. Shutting that noise, that influence out of my life, that comparison that made me want things that I just really didn't understand why I really wanted, except for the fact that my friends had it or someone was flaunting it or talking about how great their life is because of it. All of a sudden, I had time to think. I had time to generate information from within myself and think about it. Someone's going to tell you or try to tell you what to do. Happens every day. Every time your phone dings, that phone is telling you what to do. It's telling you, hey, pick me up. It must be important. It's on your phone. You know how many times my phone is like laying wherever? The only thing I use my phone for to check a few things on the podcast and to listen to them when I'm out walking, because I do listen to my podcast, and to listen to music while I'm working out. No more dings. I don't spend my life on Twitter trying to gain 1 million followers, because I'm kind of finding that unless you gain followers that are willing to give you money or give you time or give you some benefit for the fact that they show up every day in your life, they're probably not going to change anything. Take it back. The world is so social media. Oh my God! People say, "Oh, you're not on social media." No, I'm not on social media. I used to look at people that way. I'm like, what? Oh no, we don't do social. We don't do Facebook. Well, really? How? I mean, as if without it, they were somehow not able to survive. They were missing out. Well, you are missing out on something by not allowing social media. Or let me say this another way, by allowing social media to influence your life, that is to be in your life, you're compromising your ability to keep things in perspective. There's a lot of noise out there. Do you really need that noise in your life to confuse you about who you are and what you believe? Works pretty good for some people. Works pretty good during this campaign. Boy, I tell you what, it's back and forth on who, what, why. Who to believe, who's the liar, who's the thief. It doesn't take a wizard to figure out. Let me just say this before we move on. Anyone who is vying for a political spot, anyone who is trying to be elected by you does not have your best interest at heart. They're telling a good story. Basically, when we elect someone, basically what we're saying is that was the best commercial. They did the best commercials. It's about marketing. It's about marketing. It's not about what that person is like, because I'm going to tell you what, even if I had the opportunity to meet Donald Trump, I wouldn't meet him. Simply because his moral compass does not even come close to mine. Is that a judgment? Maybe somebody, well, what do you mean? It's the president. Okay, be the president of the United States. But I don't talk about people the way he does. I don't incite hate. I don't believe in hate, just hate alone. The idea that we are different than each other and to promote that's enough for me to walk away from that. I see it. That's because I'm telling me what to do. How do we walk around this country and hate people we've never met because of people we've never met? Answer that question. Think I'm off that rant. So let's go ahead and get on with this. Hey, listen, I'm just going to remind you one more time. You're going to wake up today and you're going to live this moment, every moment today, and then you're going to end it at night and you're going to think back on how you did it. When you think back tonight, when you're looking back, you lay your head down on that pillow before you close your eyes and go to sleep, take a minute to ask yourself, how'd you do? How did you do? How did your life look today? How did you live your life? And more important than that, who was telling you what to do? Did you go to work because you love it, because it drives your life, because it gives you access to choices that are truly energizing and inspiring for you? You know, like fishing, backpacking, hiking, disc golfing, hanging out with people you love, doing things you love? Or did you fall into the trap and do the same thing as everyone else around you? You bought off on the story that someone else said is going to be amazing, and now you're working to pay it off. Tough question. Tough to face. A lot of people will not face it. A lot of people will unplug and say, I'm not ready for this, and I understand it because I wasn't ready either. But now I am, and more than that, I'm ready to help you get to where you want to be and live your best life. So keep it in mind. Keep an upbeat spirit. Keep kindness in your heart. Remember, it's easy to be kind. Just do it. And don't let any of this hate get in your way. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.